Your name and your phone number are sitting on dozens of websites right now. Websites you never signed up for, never gave permission to, and probably never even heard of. Anyone can search your name, find your phone number, your home address, your relatives, your age, and your neighborhood, all available to purchase for a few dollars. This is not a hypothetical future risk. It is happening today, to you, and most people have no idea it is going on. Let's start with what happened in November 2025, because it is one of the most significant privacy events in recent memory, and most news outlets buried it. Cybersecurity researchers at Cybernews discovered an unprotected database belonging to a company called ID Merit, a global identity verification provider that works with banks, fintech firms, and financial services companies. The database was not protected by a password. Anyone who knew where to look could access it freely. Inside, full names, home addresses, postal codes, dates of birth, national ID numbers, phone numbers, email addresses, and gender information. Some records also included telecom-related metadata and internal flags referencing past breaches. The database held 1 terabyte of data covering people across 26 countries. The United States was hit hardest with 204 million records exposed. Zico had 123 million. The Philippines had 72 million. In total, over 1 billion personal records were accessible to anyone who happened to find it. And that is just one incident from one company you have never heard of. Because here is the e-reality of the data ecosystem you're living inside without knowing it. Data brokers are companies whose entire business model is collecting your personal information, your name, our phone number, your address, your relatives, your income estimate, your shopping behavior, and selling it to advertisers, background check services, insurance companies, and anyone else willing to pay. They get this information from public records, retail loyalty programs, social media activity, and from purchasing leaked data off dark web forums. There are hundreds of them operating right now. They are legal. They operate open. A lie. And by default, unless you actively do something about it, your information is in their databases and available for purchase. The scale of recent breach activity in 2025 and 2026 has been extraordinary. The Navia Benefits Administration Company disclosed in early 2026 that a breach exposed the personal information of approximately 2.7 million people, including names, dates of birth, social security numbers, phone numbers, and email addresses. Figure Technology Solutions, a fintech lender, confirmed a breach covering nearly 1 million accounts with names, phone numbers, physical addresses, and email addresses exposed. NYC Health and Hospitals discovered in February 2026 that an unauthorized actor had accessed its network from November 2025 through February 2026 and copied files belonging to at least 1.8 million people, including medical records, social security numbers, government IDs, financial account details, and biometric data, including fingerprints and palm prints. Crunchbase had over 1.5 million records stolen after a voice phishing attack. Qantas Airways had 11 million customer records published on the dark web after a ransomware attack. Sears had 3.7 million customer service chat logs exposed publicly on the web. These are not isolated events. They are weekly occurrences in 2026, and each one adds more of your data to a growing ocean of accessible personal information. Every time your information appears in one of these breaches, cybercriminals use it to build what researchers call a victim profile. Your name from one breach, your phone number from another, your address from a data broker, your date of birth from a loyalty program. Combined together, that profile becomes a toolkit for attacking you in specific and targeted ways. And the most dangerous thing they can do with your phone number specifically is something called a SIM swap. A SIM swap attack works like this. A criminal calls your mobile carrier. They already have your full NAMI, your address, the last 4 digits of your social security number, and possibly answers to your security questions, all gathered from breaches and broker databases. They pretend to be you. They tell the carrier they lost their POC. Or got a new device. They ask for your phone number to be transferred to a SIM card they control. If the carrier representative falls for it, and they do because the attacker has enough real personal information to pass identity verification, your phone immediately loses service. Every call and text meant for you now goes to the criminal's device. And because most online accounts, including banking, email, and social media, use your phone number to send 2-factor authentication codes, the attacker now intercepts every one of those codes in real time. They request a password reset on your bank account. The code goes to their phone. They are in. They drain the account. It can happen in under an hour. The FBI reported that SIM swap fraud losses in the United States reached $26 million in a single year. A landmark arbitration case in March 2025 ordered T-Mobile to pay $33 million to a single customer, WW. Ho's phone number was hijacked in a SIM swap. Cryptocurrency investors have been particular targets because exchanges rely heavily on phone-based verification, and digital assets can be transferred instantly and irreversibly. Some investors have lost millions in a matter of minutes. What makes this threat so dangerous is not that it is technically sophisticated, it is the opposite. It exploits the weakest link in the entire system, which is a carrier employee who can be socially engineered by someone reading FRO-M, a stolen data file. The FCC introduced anti-SIM swap rules that came into effect in July 2024, requiring carriers to implement stronger identity verification before processing SIM changes. Carriers have responded with additional protections. T-Mobile No requires a 6 to 15-digit account PIN for every customer, offers account takeover protection that blocks unauthorized number transfers, and Provi-Des, a SIM protection service that lets customers lock their SIM entirely. AT&T has strengthened its text authentication tools and trained employees to recognize impersonation attempts. Verizon offers number lock and SIM protection that prevents any SIM change until you personally unlock it. But here is the critical point that most people miss. Every single one of these carrier protections is turned off by default. You have to manually enable THIM. If you have not logged into your carrier account and activated SIM lock, number lock, or account PIN protection, your number is not protected against a SIM swap right now. Do that today. Log into your carrier account, find the SE, security settings, and enable every available SIM and number protection feature. Then set a strong account PIN that is not based on your birthday, your address, or anything that appears in a breach record. Now let's talk about what to do about the data broker problem, because the SIM swap is only one of many attacks that become possible once your personal data is widely circulated. The second major thing you need to do is get your information off people search sites and data broker databases. Companies like Whitepages, Spokeo, BeenVerified, Truthfinder, Redaris, and hundreds of others have your name, phone number, address, relatives, and other personal details published and searchable right now. Whitepages alone has over 250 million profiles and frequently appears on the first page of Google when someone searches your name. Spokeo aggregates data from over 120 different sources. BeenVerified allows anyone to pull a detailed personal report on you for a few dollars. These are not fringe services. They are mainstream profitable businesses built on your personal information. The opt-out process for these sites requires you to find your specific listing on each site, copy the listing URL, and submit a formal removal request. Most sites process removals within 1 to 3 business days. Whitepages requires phone verification via an automated call before processing your removal. Spokeo requires you to confirm via email. BeenVerified and its affiliated PeopleConnect sites, which include Truthfinder, Intellius, and CheckPeople, process a single opt-out that covers all 4 sites simultaneously. Redaris is more difficult and requires account creation before you can submit a removal request. Fast people search processes remove Osmomap alls within 24 to 72 hours. Most of these removals need to be repeated every 3 to 4 months because the sites regularly repull data from public records and partner feeds and republish your listing. California residents gained a powerful new tool on January 1st, 2026 with the launch of the Delete Request and Opt-out platform known as DROP, created under California's Delete Act. DROP allows California residents to submit a single deletion request simultaneously to every data broker registered in the state, completely free of charge. You verify California residency through the state's identity gateway, submit your identifying information, and DROP converts it into a one-way cryptographic hash that it distributes to registered data brokers. Starting August 1st, 2026, every a data broker must download those hashed identifiers every 45 days and delete matching records from their databases. If you are a California resident and you have not used DROP, go to the California Privacy Protection Agency website and do it immediately. For everyone else, the manual opt-out process across hundreds of brokers is time-consuming but achievable. Security researchers recommend starting with the highest priority sites: Whitepages, Spokeo, BeenVerified, Axiom, Epsilon, and Oracle Data Cloud. These aggregators supply data to hundreds of downstream MA brokers. So removing yourself from the Tier 1 aggregators has a multiplier effect. Expect your initial round of removals to take 4 to 6 hours. Plan on spending 30 to 60 minutes every 3 months, checking whether your listings have reappeared and resubmitting double it where necessary. Create a dedicated email address specifically for opt-out requests rather than using your primary email, which only gives the brokers a fresh, accurate data point to attach to your existing file. If the manual process is too time-consuming, services like DeleteMe, Incogni, and Optory automate the opt-out submissions and recheck every queue, order to catch listings that have reappeared. DeleteMe covers over 120 sites using a manual, risk-prioritized approach and starts at around $10 to $11 per month. Incogni uses an automated system with broad coverage. Optory offers tiered plans depending on how many brokers you want covered. These are not perfect solutions. No service can reach every broker, but they dramatically reduce your exposure compared to doing nothing. Beyond SIM protection and data broker removal, there are 3 more steps that form a complete FOEMBER as a 2-factor authentication method for any important account. Instead, use an authenticator app such as Google Authenticator, M, Microsoft Authenticator, or Authy. Authenticator apps generate codes locally on your device and are completely independent of your phone number, meaning a successful SIM swap gives the attacker nothing useful when it comes to your protected accounts. Hardware security keys like a YubiKey go even further and are immune to both SIM swapping and phishing. Second, freeze your credit with all 3 bureaus: Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. A credit freeze prevents anyone from opening new accounts in your name, even if they have your full personal details. It is free, reversible E when you need it, and takes about 15 minutes to set up across all 3 bureaus. Third, set up a Google Results About You alert, which is a free service that notifies you when your personal information appears in Google search results and allows you to request removal of specific results. This monitors your public exposure on an ongoing basis and gives you a way to respond when new data surfaces. The warning sign that a SIM swap has already happened to you is immediate and unmistakable. Your phone suddenly shows no service even in an area where you normally have full bars. Authentication codes stop arriving. You receive password reset notifications for accounts you'd otherwise not request. Applications like iMessage and WhatsApp stop working because they rely on SMS functionality that is now redirected to another device. If any of these things happen, call your carrier immediately from a borrowed phone. Report FRA, fraudulent SIM swap, and demand your number be restored to your control. Then, change passwords, starting with email and banking. Report the fraud to the FCC, the FTC, and file a police report. Freeze your credit with all 3 bureaus if you have not already. Your name and your phone number are not safe by default in 2026. 1 billion identity records were left in an open database accessible to anyone. Data brokers are legally selling your contact details to whoever pays. Your carrier's protections are disabled until you turn them on. Every major platform uses your phone number as a recovery tool, which means your phone number is functionally the master key to your digital life. The steps to protect yourself are not complicated, the why are not expensive, and most of them can be completed in a single afternoon. The question is simply whether you do them before something goes wrong or after.